Hello everyone! Hey guys, what is up? What's going on? It's your girl Ashley and welcome back to the channel. So today's video, it's gonna be another back to school makeup look on this look. I know, I'm a little glam, I'm a little bit like extra, and I'm sure some of you guys are like, I can't do that for back to school, but a lot of you guys asked me for a super glam back to school makeup look. I've done a few back to school makeup looks so far this year, so if you guys haven't seen those, I actually linked them in a playlist so that way you can check them out. We have like a 10-minute makeup tutorial, we have a super natural makeup tutorial, we have like something in the middle, and this is just like over the top. These are for my girls who want to cake that face like me. So if you guys are here for it, don't forget to press that subscribe button, and also don't forget to turn on your post notifications so that way you guys are notified anytime I upload a new video, which is 3 times a week every single week. And without further ado guys, let's go ahead and hop into the look. So first things first, I am going to prime the skin. I will be using this primer by NYX. This is the NYX Hydra Touch Face Primer. What I really love about this primer is that it is a hydrating face primer. So if you are a little bit dry, I definitely recommend going in with something like this. I am really gonna focus on more of like a radiant, dewy looking glow as far as the skin. So I really wanna make sure my skin is nice and hydrated underneath. What I really love about this primer is that it is infused with chamomile and green tea, which is going to create the perfect canvas for a radiant looking glow. Just working it into the skin, and I'm also going to tap. What's really great is that this primer does get a little bit tacky, which is going to really allow my foundation to stick to the skin. So now that my skin is nice and primed, I'm gonna move on to shadow application. Now the shadow palette I will be using today is by Morphe. This is their Jaclyn Hill palette. I know it's taken me a hot ass minute to purchase this palette. Morphe has no idea who I am. I'm not on their PR list, anything like that. So this palette was actually never sent to me, and I never thought to buy it just because there was so much controversy when it first came out. It kind of just like turned me off. But now that everything has died down, I want to say it's been like 2 years or so, I'm probably gonna use her on my channel. We're gonna test her out. Jaclyn's always raving about this thing, so honey, I'm gonna test her out. Okay. First things first, you want to make sure your lids are nice and primed. I'm just using the concealer that I use to carve out my brows. You can use whatever you have at home. Makeup Revolution has a really awesome concealer that's very much comparable to Tarte Shape Tape if you guys want to test and check that out. The brush I'm using to blend out this concealer is my Morphe G8 brush from their Gunmetal collection. I really do like this brush, so we're just packing on that concealer to make sure it's nice and blended. The first shade I'm gonna pick up in the palette is called Pukey, and I'm taking it on a Morphe M441, and I'm sticking her right here in the crease. So I'm just really packing her. And once I get her into the socket, I'm just gonna wiggle her back and forth. Keep in mind, I did not lay down any translucent colors just because I really want this shadow to show up to its full intensity. So I'm really just working this color right here into the socket. And I'm also going in big circular motions right here towards the outer V. I do also want to note that one of the main reasons I wanted to use the Jaclyn Hill palette in this back to school college edition glam as fuck makeup tutorial is because I know this palette has been out for a minute, and I know a lot of you guys actually own it. You guys always ask me to use it in my videos, so I was like, you know what, this is gonna be the palette. This is gonna be the palette I feature. If you guys are students, if you guys are college students and you guys do not own this palette, I think it is a pretty decent buy. Here I am, I'm saying it's a good buy and I'm only on the first shadow, but the reason I think it's a good buy is because you get so many shadows. You get a total of 38 eyeshadows. I think that is a really awesome deal for like 38 bucks. You know what I mean? It's like $1 a shadow. Correction, you get 35 shadows, not 38. So one thing I will say about this eyeshadow palette is that she blends beautifully. She packs on beautifully. Like, do you guys see that? Honey, I'm in it to win it. I'm now going to switch brushes, and I'm going to pick up Pukey once again. I'm going to switch brushes to a Morphe M514, and I'm going to concentrate this brush right here towards the very outer corner, and I'm really going to focus on building this shadow up to its full intensity. And I am going in small circular motions because I really want to get that color in the socket so that way it's nice and opaque. I'm also going to take it in the crease a little bit while still going in small circular motions to ensure that everything is nice and blended. So I'm not entirely sure if you guys could tell, but just by switching brushes, I was really able to intensify this pukey brown shade in the outer V right here. Like, she looks insanely beautiful, smoked out, blended, and I'm all about that. Like, I seriously need you guys to blend until your fucking fingers fall off. This back to school look, she took a turn. She definitely took a turn, but I'm gonna take a Morphe M433 and I'm just gonna run it right alongside the edges right here because, like I said, things just took a turn. They got a little out of control. My blending isn't as perfect as I would like it to be, so I'm really just trying to soften up these edges because the look is looking extremely smoky. So now that that's done, I'm gonna go in with a Morphe 167 flat shader brush, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pop her right here on the lid, and I'm not gonna waste too much time cutting the crease just because this is something that you really want to do super quick and easy, and the fastest and easiest way I know how to do it is to skip cutting the crease completely. But you do want to use a brush like this, which is the M167 brush by Morphe, just because it is very, very dense and it's easy for me to really just pack on this color in a precise way. I'm gonna flip my brush over and I'm gonna go into the shade right next to it, which is called SBN, and I'm gonna spray her as well, and I'm gonna pop her right next to that shade called Obsessed. And I really want these colors to melt into each other. I want to marry these two colors together. So I'm just taking my brush and I'm wiggling it side by side. Once that's done, I'm gonna go back into my Morphe M514, go in with a little bit more of that shade called Pukey, and really just blend it into the shade called SBN. With Morphe M514, I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that shade called Roxanne, and I'm really just going to focus her right here towards the very outer corner because the look is definitely lacking a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to take her in circular motions right here, and I'm really going to buff her into that champagne shade called Obsessed. And I'm going to do this ever so slightly. You really want to blend the color inwards without packing on too much all at once, which is why I'm starting off with very little product and I'm slowly building it up to my desired intensity. The next shade I'm going to take in the palette is called In Light, and I'm actually going to use this shade as my brow bone highlight. So I'm going to pop it at the highest point of my brow bone. Whoa, I was not expecting her to be that creamy and pigmented, but that is pretty. You guys know I always use my brow bone highlight to really just help me further blend the shadow, so that's exactly what I'm doing in this case. To really blend my highlight with my transitional shade, I'm gonna go in with Morphe M514 right alongside the edges, and this is just going to really allow for a super beautiful, seamless blend. Like, if you're ever having trouble with blending, apply your brow bone highlight and then go in and blend the shades together, and I promise you, you'll have the most seamless blend you've ever seen. For this look, you can do one of two things. You can apply liner or you could skip liner completely. Since this is a super glam back to school look, I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna apply liner. I will be using the Maybelline Eye Studio Gel Eyeliner in Blackest Black. I just picked up a new one because my other one was all dried out. I'm going to apply this gel eyeliner with my MAC 210 brush. This is actually my favorite brush to apply winged eyeliner. It's so extremely tiny, so it's easy for me to create a thin cat eye wing. I'm gonna start right here towards the very inner corner, and I'm lightly going to drag it outwards. I am working little by little just because I don't want to create a super intense wing right away. I'm really taking my time and I'm doing small strokes at first. Once that's done, I'm gonna go in and start creating the tail. And I'll just do small little strokes like so. And then I will take my brush and I will bring it inwards like so, connecting it with the line we already created. And there is my super quick and easy cat eye wing. I'm gonna take a makeup wipe and I'm gonna clean up the little bit of fallout I have right here underneath my eyes because I do have slight fallout. FYI. Nothing too crazy though. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of my Rimmel Exaggerate waterproof liner to tightline. I feel like this step is vital, especially if you're gonna be doing winged eyeliner. I know not everyone is gonna have time for wing liner, but if you do have time, make sure you guys do not forget your tightline. Super important. For mascara, I'm gonna use a little bit of the Maybelline Lash Sensational mascara, and I'm gonna coat my lashes very nicely. Now this look is going to be beautiful with or without lashes. If you do not know how to apply lashes, definitely skip that step. Since we're already here, I am going to pop on falsies, but you can definitely skip falsies if you guys aren't really into that look. I am gonna be using these by Salon Perfect. These are their Silk Noir lashes in the style 651. These are by far my favorite affordable lashes. They're super wispy, they're super natural, very, very lightweight. I can barely feel them on my eyes. So I'm gonna pop these on real quick. Now that my eyes are done, I'm now going to move on to my base. Now I'm going to throw it back to an oldie but a goodie. This is the L'Oreal True Match Foundation. And I say oldie because I remember back in the day, everyone and their mom used to use this foundation. I don't hear too much about her now. She actually looks pretty dark, but I did pick up the shade W6 Sun Beige. That's typically my shade in L'Oreal foundations, but y'all know I'm a little pasty, so we'll see. We'll see how she works. I will be using a little bit of the True Match Illumi Glotion. This one is in the shade Light Glow. I'm gonna put a little bit of this into my foundation and I'm gonna mix her up just because I do want more of like a radiant, dewy looking glow, if you feel me. Once I have it all mixed up, I'm just going to put it onto the skin like so. This foundation should work. She's looking a little dark. I don't remember if she oxidizes, but we shall see. So if any of you guys still use this foundation, let me know in the comments down below. I'm actually pretty curious to see how many of you guys still use the True Match Foundation by L'Oreal because I feel like a lot of people forgot about this foundation. I'm gonna use my Morphe sponge to buff and blend out the foundation. As you can see, the foundation has pretty decent coverage to it. The foundation, she's a little dark, but I can possibly lighten her up a little bit with concealer. But I really love the luminous finish this foundation gives off, especially mixed in with a little bit of that glotion. The finish on the skin is stunning. It's beautiful and I'm living for it. So looking at my skin right now, my skin looks like skin, and honestly, I'm not even mad at the fact that you can kind of see a little bit of my imperfections kind of peeking through. I feel like it just gives it more of a natural, dewy, luminous feel, if you know what I mean. So I don't think I'm going to sweat it too much if I can't build this up to full coverage, just because I'm kind of liking the way it looks on my skin right now. What do you guys think? Let me know. I am going to be testing out a new concealer. This is by Flower Beauty. This is their Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer. I did pick mine up in the shade Light, so I'm going to pop a little bit of this directly underneath my eyes, and she is in fact light. I'm just going to use this to highlight directly underneath my eyes. Like I said, I did feel like my foundation was just a little bit too dark, so I'm going to try to lighten her up a little bit by applying this concealer in my T-zone. I'm just going to use the Morphe sponge to buff and blend out this concealer. Wow. The coverage on this is really good. I'm very surprised. I actually haven't heard anyone talk about this concealer at all. Do you guys see that though? Like, look how brightening she is. I mean, it probably has a lot to do with the shade I use, but I really do like the coverage of this concealer. It's definitely full coverage. I've seriously been looking for every excuse to use the ColourPop powder again on my channel, so I am going to be using the No Filter setting powder. This stuff makes you look like so extremely flawless, it's unreal. So I'm going to take a little bit onto the cap. As you can see, she's just flying everywhere. I do have the shade Translucent, and I'm just going to use this to bake that concealer underneath the eyes. This is really just going to set it down and in place. I'm also going to use this powder on my chin and the center of my face. After setting all the areas of my face where I applied the concealer, I'm going to go in with my pressed powder by L'Oreal. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte, and I'm going to go ahead and just press this into the skin to set down all the areas of my face that I did not use that loose powder by ColourPop. I'm looking a little ghostly, so I definitely need to bronze up the skin. I will be using the Sun Obsession Sculpting Bronzer in Major by Glam. Glam can be purchased at Sally Beauty Stores. It is fairly inexpensive, and it is a line that I help co-create alongside 7 other beauty influencers. So I definitely recommend that you guys go and check out that line because we do have some really awesome items. We're also launching some new stuff, like some really good stuff soon, so be on the lookout for that. I'm just taking this alongside my cheeks just to give my face a little bit more color. What I'm doing here is I'm using a little bit of my loose powder to clean up my contour. So I'm gonna let her sit there for maybe about like 3, 4, 5 seconds, and I'm gonna work on bronzing up my nose. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of that Sun Obsession Sculpting Bronzer by Collab and run it alongside my nose because fun fact, when you apply concealer, powder, foundation, all that stuff, you tend to lose dimension in your nose. So you want to bring a little bit of those shadows back in with just a little bit of bronzer. You don't need to get too crazy with this because sometimes it can look really wild if you go too hard with it. So just a soft, subtle nose contour for school will be fine. Moving right along to blush. I'm gonna use this blush right here by Essence. This is the Silky Touch blush in the shade Baby Doll. And I'm gonna pop her right here on the cheeks, just a little bit, nothing too crazy. And I am using a BH Cosmetics Pro number 3 brush to apply my blush. Honestly, it's been one of my favorite brushes to apply blush to the apples of my cheeks. I'm actually going to stick to using this shade right here called Obsession as a cheek highlight. I'm not going to go in with an additional highlight. I feel like this shade is going to be perfect to highlight with. So I'm just going to pop her right here. Ooh, honey, give it to me. I'm not gonna lie, I'm living for this shade called Obsessed. Now I know why she called it Obsessed. I'm also gonna pop her right here in the very inner corner of my tear duct to draw forth light. And the shade I'm gonna use to finish off my very lower lash line is called Pukey, which is that very first transitional shade we use in the palette. I'm gonna use my Sigma flat definer brush to really just blow this color out on that lower lash line. Just gonna use a pencil brush to continue to smoke out this lash line here. I really want it to be nice and smoky. Just like that. I'm gonna wipe off my bake with my e.l.f. powder brush. So to finish off the look, I'm gonna go in with the NYX Suede lip liner in the shade London, and I'm gonna use this to outline my lips completely. Following that, I am going to go in with a Maybelline lipstick. This is one of their new Shine Compulsion lipstick in the shade Baddest Beige. Woo. Honey, this is beautiful. I love this lipstick. And the last and final thing we need to set off this look is the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. So I'm going to give her a little bit of a shake and spray my entire face down. And this is really just going to melt down the powders and ensure that I don't look like super powdery and I have like that glowing from within look. I love it. And just like that, you guys, this is the final and completed look. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Honestly, I am obsessed with the look. I feel like it's super classic. It's very easy. I wouldn't say it's fast. It's definitely gonna take you guys a little bit of time. I feel like this is that look that you wear on the first day of school and the first day of school only. Let's be real. After the first day, nobody really cares. Well, maybe the first like week to 2 weeks, and that's it, you know? So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe if you guys haven't already. Turn on those post notifications so that you guys are notified anytime I upload, because I upload 3 new videos every single week. Yes, 3 videos Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 9 a.m. and you guys don't want to miss out on those uploads. I love you so much. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces. This shit looks hella dark. Finally, the outro of the outro. Be sure to press the subscribe button right here, guys, if you guys haven't already. And also check out some of my other videos. I know some of you guys are at home thinking like, damn, she put on a whole mask. So if you guys want something a little bit more toned down, definitely check out some of my other back to school videos that are a little bit more scaled back, a little bit more natural, 10-minute glam, super fresh face, under $35. Check those out, and until next time, I'll see y'all on the next one.